quick one about lip swelling. So Marmite, I think we should call it the Marmite procedure. You either love it or you hate it, right? So lip filler in small volumes, so I'm talking 0.5 ml, 1 ml, will give us some swelling. Now, it's really important that we all remember our bodies are made very slightly differently, and the signs of swelling is never a bad thing. And I think it's really important that you understand swelling as it's a scientific process. It's a biological process that our bodies will naturally do. If we get bitten by a mosquito, if we cut our leg, if we knock our elbow, what happens? We swell. That's trauma to the skin. That is a good sign that your body is doing what it should be. And I think with the lips, people expect miracles. They expect no bruising. They expect very quick downtime, and you know, not to see that awful kind of newspaper bodged look, because you know we're hot on advising people of the dangers of dermal filler now. And I think everybody is so hyper aware that actually a little bit of swelling can be a really frightening experience. So when you're undergoing these procedures, I think it's really important not only do you go and meet your practitioner for a consultation and ask these questions, because we will give you a good explanation and we will give you the understanding of the process, so that you can go away and say, right, I know I've got a week's annual leave, I am worried about the swelling, so I'm going to take this time off, I'm going to have my procedure done, and then I know if anything comes up, I don't have to go anywhere or see anyone, and everything will feel much more controlled and managed. And I think that is the best way that any of us can approach one of these treatments. The same with chemical peels and the downtime. It's, you know, it's just working out, do you have to go anywhere? Do you have to see anybody? If you do, would that worry you? There are people that wouldn't care two hoots. I mean, I'm definitely one of those. I'll go out with half a face of skin peeling off me and I'll go to work. It is just a very individual preference, and I think you need to definitely not rush these treatments. You know, you need to go in, think about what you're having done, you know, work out if your practitioner is giving you the explanation you want to hear, and if not, you know, always look for second opinions. We do this on a daily basis. Do we get one plumber in and say, yeah, you can do the job? We most of the time we're advised to see a couple, so there's no harm in getting a few opinions before rushing into these treatments. And I think if you've got a concern about the healing process, it's definitely understanding down to the biological level of what healing really means, because this needle that's used is very tiny, but it's trauma. It causes trauma to the skin, and our skin is the biggest organ in our body. Our skin is there as a protecting sheath to stop anything getting into it. So if you imagine, I don't know, the last scene of Game of Thrones, where they've got all their walls up and anyone trying to get in there, they've got their process to stopping anyone getting in. And that's exactly what our skin does. It sends all the little warriors to the surface. It gets them to do what they should be doing, and that's protecting everything internally. So if we put a little needle into the lips, and the procedure should be comfortable. I know that, again, we're talking about needle in the lips and it probably makes some people's toes curl up. It's just understanding that naturally and biologically our body is meant to send that response, the response unit, to that area and work out what's happened to it. So when we talk about you know, how long it can take for an area to heal after treatment, that can be up to 14 days. So our policy is we'd always support you and we'd always review it, but it's only for day 14 that if there were still concerns, then obviously we would want to intervene. Any time from having your lip treatment into the 14-day process is, into the 14-day period is where we need to just let the body do what it wants to do, and it wants to try and work out what this filler is. It wants to work out who this foreign body is it safe to leave in the body, and if it is, then normally the response will slow down, reduce down and disappear. So I hope it's helpful, because swelling is a really scary process. None of us tend to worry if our knee swells. None of us worry if we bump our cheek and it gets a bit swollen. But the minute we consider cosmetic intervention, which can be altering the way we look, that's when the worry starts. So it's really important we understand that biological response, and we also understand that dermal filler will act as a bit of a sponge, drawing in water, as well as the fluid that responds to inflammation. So again, talk to your practitioner, understand the process. I hope some of you found this helpful. If you've got any questions, please comment on the video and I'll be more than happy to reply to them, and if not, our administration team will also pass me on any queries if it's specific and they can't help answer those questions. I'm trying to do as many regular videos as possible, really, just to kind of give more information. You also get to see who I am, and if you're keeping up to date with any of our lives, what our little clinic looks like. So yeah, hopefully you found it helpful, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.